A waterfall chart visualizes how a starting value is increased or decreased by intermediate positive or negative values to result in a final value. To insert a waterfall chart, go to the think-cell group in the PowerPoint ribbon, open the Elements menu, and click on either Build Up Waterfall or Build Down Waterfall. Let's start with a Build Up Waterfall. Click once onto the slide to place the chart there. A default Build Up Waterfall chart is inserted. In this chart type, the segments of each category build up from left to right to result in a total column on the very right of the chart. Open the datasheet to type your starting value in column B, and add positive or negative values in the subsequent columns. Positive values result in segments going upwards. Negative values create segments going downwards. After you have entered the values for all segments of your build-up waterfall, type in an E for equals into the column furthest to the right of the datasheet. think-cell automatically calculates the total of the values to the left of this column and keeps it up to date whenever you change the data. You don't have to calculate the sums yourself. Now let's insert a Build Down waterfall from the Elements menu. It works similarly to the Build Up waterfall you've just seen, with one basic difference. The datasheet will have an E in the first column and thus show the total on the very left of the chart. In a Build Down waterfall chart, think-cell starts from the column furthest to the right of the datasheet and calculates backwards from right to left to find the value for the E column. Or in other words, think-cell builds down the total column on the very left of the chart to the individual categories that comprise it. Now you know the differences between a Build Up and a Build Down waterfall. You may also type an E into columns of the datasheet other than the first or last. think-cell will then calculate subtotals up to that point, building up or building down, depending on which waterfall type you inserted, and a corresponding subtotal column will be displayed in the chart. You can, of course, enter more than one value in each column of the datasheet. You can even have both positive and negative values within the same column. The chart will automatically display a total label on top or at the bottom of all columns with multiple segments. think-cell automatically positions connectors between each column, visualizing the sum of the segments of a column. If all segments of a column have the same sign, these connectors are anchored to the top or bottom of a column. If you use both positive and negative values within the same column, its connector may not be at the top or bottom of a column because it needs to represent the sum of a column and is placed at the corresponding position. In our case, the sum of the second column is +2. And therefore the right connector is anchored at the position that lies 2 units above the previous connector.